The Adelaide Bite and the Brisbane Bandits battled it out in Game 3 of their Round 11 series, with both teams still in contention for the playoffs. Disaster, though, struck for the visitors. Jeremy Creswell was hit by a pitch and, importantly, stole second to take the double play out of the equation. Incredibly, Brisbane starter Alessandro Maestri then could not buy a strike, walking Monte and hitting Calvin Anderson to load the bases. Then he walked home 3 runs via James Jones, Scott Gladstone and Ben Wigmore to surrender the lead 3-1 to the Adelaide Bite. After struggling at the start, Maestri then settled down nicely and he kept his side in the contest until the bottom of the 6th, with John Beach coming on in relief. James Jones broke the drought with a 2-out solo home run in the 7th for the Bite. Then Matthew Smith belted a 2-run shot in the 8th. Brisbane Bandits, though, would go on and win the series 3-2, but it wasn't quite good enough for a place in the postseason. Better news for Adelaide fans, their team safely through to the playoffs. Melbourne Showgrounds lived up to its hitter-friendly reputation on Saturday night, with Melbourne and Canberra combining for an incredible 31 hits on the night. It was all entertainment. Shortstop Dominic Ramos hit a lead-off single in the first inning and later reached home on a ground out from Justin Huber. The Cavalry evened the score in the second when right fielder Johnny Martinez hit a single to score teammate Kenny Wilson. A double from Kevin Kiermaier initiated action in the 3rd inning, and the Cavalry continued their power at the plate with home runs, including this monster from Mark Thomas. A Kiermaier lead-off in the 9th with a double was followed by a walk to Mark Thomas. With 2 men on and 1 out, Brian Bergamy hit his 2nd home run of the night to tie the game back up at 9 apiece. Aces centre fielder Elliot Biddle dashed hopes of a Cavalry win with a walk-off home run in the 10th. The Melbourne Aces taking the series 3-2 and securing a trip to Perth for the post-season. While on Perth, the Heat put an exclamation point on their record-setting season by defeating the Sydney Blue Sox 7-2 at Barbagallo Ballpark on Sunday afternoon. After a Tim Kennelly single and a Luke Hughes walk in the bottom of the 1st inning, Mitch Graham ripped a double down the left field line to bring both runners in. Then in the 2nd, Corey Adamson singled, then advanced to 2nd on a wild pitch before Michael Givens hit an RBI single to bring him home and make it 3-0 to the home side. Hughes scored again in the bottom of the 3rd on a throwing error by Sydney 2nd baseman Joseph Haig. And Kennelly and Hughes both added RBIs in the 4th to put the score out of reach for the Sydney side, with Perth taking a 6-0 lead. Heat starter Jeff Brown struck out 6 and walked 1 while allowing just 2 weak hits. And it was more than enough for the Heat, despite RBIs for the Blue Sox in the top of the 7th by Haig and Jacob Eunice, before Perth got one back in the bottom of the 8th from an Aaron Bonomi sacrifice fly to complete the scoring, Perth taking the game 7-2. The Heat capping off a stellar regular season with a 4-1 series win. So, in week 1 of the ABL playoffs, a lot to look forward to. Perth Heat will host the Melbourne Aces at Barbagallo Ballpark, and the Adelaide Bite will host the Sydney Blue Sox at Cooper Stadium. The Brisbane Bandits and the Canberra Cavalry both bowing out, only just missing out on post-season action. As usual, we'll see you again next week for week 1 of the ABL playoffs.